This is extraordinary. We going?
We are.
Awesome. Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show viewers, comments and questions live on Monday, the something of January.
24th.
Dan here.
Mick here, hello. This has got to go. The short arm.
I like it.
I don't. It's bendy. Too bendy.
Such a great guitar. That neck really is something else. Something else.
Welcome.
Welcome indeed.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And back to you.
Yeah, bridge still isn't quite sitting right.
Right. Okay. Tension-wise, you mean in the back with this?
It isn't quite returning to position right.
Okay.
Which is all about these screws.
Interesting.
Actually, the action's dropped a bit. And the neck's bloody moved it back again as well.
Bloody.
Sorry for the swearies. Has it? Maybe not. I've been having setup fun with the new guitar.
It's beautiful.
Anyway,
I love it.
There we are. By route of which tangent leads us to a hello.
Hello.
And welcome to viewers' comments and questions on this fine Monday. Oh, nice.
Like that?
Yeah. Who we got on then? Let's have a look. Greetings from Glasgow. Oh no, shush, you be quiet. Greetings from Glasgow, says James Blessed.
Oh,
Hello, James.
hello, James.
David Burns, hello from Glasgow. Oh, there's two of you.
I haven't done Glasgow. I plan on going there. I've done Edinburgh and I fell in love with the place. I would move there. I think it's just magic. But talking to the Biffy boys from Glasgow, and they were extolling the virtues of Glasgow and apparently an amazing live music scene. In
Yes,
Glasgow.
I have been to Glasgow a few times and had a superb time every single visit.
Right.
G'day, Cobbers from Brisbane, Australia.
Oh, wow.
Says Ian Glencross.
Oh, hey, Ian. Hope you're awesome, mate.
Afternoon Legends from Cambridge, says Alexander Hallam. BV, thank you.
Thank you, BV.
As always, we don't have enough thank yous for you for the incredible job you do for us.
Indeed.
And for indeed the wider TPS community. Thank you, BV, for
Yes.
moderating.
Legend.
We've got some new mugs. It's called Cupotone.
Cupotone.
As you can see, it's a mug inspired. Come on. Hello.
Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's so cool. That's lovely. What a great job.
Yes, so it's a pedal board on a mug.
We went with Cupotone.
What will they think of next?
You can sense my tone getting better already.
Available from that Pedal Show store, obviously, along with the other merch.
So cool.
Get in there.
We don't have a huge amount of these straight away.
Oh, really?
I think we've got 100 in store and they'll go because they're so cool.
Oh, I see. I
So,
thought you were going to tell me you opened the box and they were all broken.
No. We've got 100 in there.
Oh, nice.
Get some more in. But if you want to get one because
No,
they're
it is.
so cool.
Yeah. Hello from Fife, says Alan Wilson.
Oh,
Alan
Fife.
Wilson.
Oh, lovely.
Heidelberg, Germany, Sebastian Broll. Rub, Smoke and Sauce from Pie Country, Wigan.
Pie Country, Wigan.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah, Wigan. Magic Man, Sacramento has been downright warm these last couple of days. I hope that's a positive reference and not Sacramento isn't on fire or anything horrible like that. If it's just nice and warm, happy days.
Indeed.
If there is something worse than that going on and we're ignorant to it, hope you're all okay.
You've got new glasses.
I've got a number of new pairs of glasses, Daniel.
They're lovely.
Thanks.
Is that from that glass place you kept telling me about?
Glasses Direct, yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's very good.
I have to go on there.
It's very, very good.
I get some of those Thunderbirds Brains glasses, the really super thick rim ones.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
I
I'm
did.
after.
I got some Wayfarers too, which look pretty cool.
They're very nice.
Yeah. These are just not those.
Steve Wellhart, hello from Oxton, Texas.
Ah,
Lovely. And Alex X, good evening from Germany.
Todd Roy's in Nova Scotia.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a very lovely turnout. Oklahoma, Bob Morris, hello to you.
Oklahoma. Rupert.
Grimace is in from Denmark.
Lovely.
From Daneland.
Doug Floyd, howdy from Tucson, Arizona. So there's this. There was a show called, is it The Last Man Alive? The Last Man on Earth, where he took up residence in Tucson, Arizona. Very silly, very funny.
Yeah, everything is all right as long as I can forget I ever known her.
Winona.
Rhymes with Phoenix, Arizona.
Very good.
Paul Jolstead says, Mick, answer to taste. You mentioned The Courage to be Disliked last week. I've listened to it all and read it and find it fascinating, but I'm stuck implementing it. How do you do it? And therapists, he says. Paul, it's taken me at least 2 years to get to sort of partially along that journey, and I think it will take the rest of my life.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, so just to read a book and be okay, I think it's a lifetime's work if you want to commit to it. Or if you actually, that sounds a bit heavy. If you genuinely want to live in a different headspace, it does take a long time and a lot of work. It's not just, here's how to wire a pedal, put the solder here. It's not that. It's practice.
Yeah. There's so the Mr. Eckhart
Tolle.
Yeah. When someone was saying, how do you drop the stuff out of, he said, well, how do you drop a rock? You just drop it.
Yeah.
But there's another thing that's sort of really important with that stuff as well. It's easy when someone gives you advice about that stuff and they're in a good place or you're in a good place, it's really easy to take that stuff on. It's implementing it when you're in the dark place.
Yeah.
That's really, really hard.
I think Dan and I would both say don't try and implement anything when you're in a dark place.
Yeah.
Just try and remember that tomorrow's another day.
Yeah.
That's about as much as you can hope for in a dark place.
Yeah. But once you've got used to, or you've got the mechanics of implementing that stuff, then you can apply that.
Without doubt, it's stopped me having any kind of down episodes.
Right.
Like, I see it coming, and I can just turn left.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's lovely.
Yeah. Anyway, then let us, Daniel, get into Das questions.
Indeed.
Michael McFall says he is patiently waiting for the show to start. Hopefully, Michael, you are waiting no longer. Good. Welcome, everybody. Then let us get into the questions. Have you had a good week, Dan?
I had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trained on Saturday, which was fun. Zach got another stripe in his belt, which was nice for him. Yeah, doing really well.
So he's doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with you?
He is.
Yeah,
he is. He's doing great.
Nice.
So that was really good. Just I played a lot of guitar on the weekend. The Kincaid is being played for hours every day.
I saw your Instagram post.
Man, it's just beautiful. It's
be nice to hear it actually now.
Yeah, you won't believe how it sounds.
I will.
You will believe it. You absolutely will believe it. But it feels like the bit of wood is understanding what it is now. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, I'm a guitar now. I'm meant to do this.
Yeah. Mr. Tickle, possums, he says. Possums, said in a Dame Edna Everage way.
Hello, possums.
G'day, possums.
She's so funny.
There is a blues jam in Kingley Street in London town. I would love to do, but I have no idea how. How do you get started at jam nights?
So, there will be... Every jam that I've been to has been very welcoming. There's someone that's running it. Just go and say hi, and your name will go on a list, and then when it's your turn, you jump up and have at it.
Yep. Find out who's organising it, put your name on the list.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. So I have been to open mics and jam nights that can be a little bit cliquey.
Right. Oh, okay.
But that's okay. That's their prerogative if they're going to organise something. So it might be that, you know, don't expect to walk in there and be the first dude up and play 8 songs if you're new. But yeah, find out who's organising it, get your name down, turn up. I think would be the best advice.
Yeah.
Whit Anderson. Hello, Whit.
Hello, Whit.
Thank you for your generosity. He says, greetings from Hopewell, New Jersey. I have to admit to a bit of satisfaction and relief seeing you all experiencing the intermittent LED failure in MXR EQ. It annoys me more than it probably should. Cheers, Whit. Yeah, a lot of very helpful people said it needs to be 18 volts.
That's enough out of you.
It was 18 volts, but I guess there's a possibility it wasn't getting enough current.
No.
Even off an isolator.
Yeah, it's fine. No, well, it will be on a doubler because 18 isolator's 9.
I think it was a doubler coming off an isolator.
Would have been no. Well, if it was on a doubler, it still would have been. It doesn't take much current at all. That thing.
Yeah, but it could take more than 120.
I'll have a look, but the doubler provides more than 120. But,
even off an isolator.
But it wouldn't have been off an isolator.
It was. I checked.
Okay.
I wired the board.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right. So there you go.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's always user error. It is always user error.
Okay.
The other thing that people said is that one of the LEDs might be turned around the wrong way. I've got a feeling that we might have done that as well at some point because we were getting so blinded by it.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Whatever. Thanks, Whit. We're glad that you felt some empathy for us and yourself in that respect. Alessandro Sivieri. Hello, Alessandro.
Hello, Sandro.
He says, hello, TPS. No question, just my contribution to the Acoustic build documentary. I finally had time to watch it. It was really, really good, and there should be a drinking game associated with the wow moments.
A few
Cheers.
people have said that. Yeah.
There's a few more coming in the Strat vlog, where we walk into Anderton's and Dan says wow about 18,000 times as well. It's great.
I'm a big fan of WoW. I like WoW.
Mark,
It's like you've been in Johnny's shop, right?
Yeah.
Seeing him do his thing.
Yeah.
And how can you stand there and not go, wow, it's just amazing. You know, I've gone back on the list.
Yeah.
So I told you this.
Yeah.
When we red and blue were refretted, there was a 2-year list. By the time my acoustic was done, it was 3 years. I went back on the list immediately because Johnny's going to build me a jazz guitar. 5 years.
Wow.
Show aired now. List is now closed.
Oh, wow. Okay. So he said no more orders.
Closed at 10 years.
Oh, my God.
So he's still taking names and, still doing repair work and all that sort of stuff. But it's like, I've got 10 years.
Yeah.
Everyone on that list. And all deposits paid up and everything. But that's the closed list now, 10 years.
You're telling me he takes a deposit for a guitar he's going to make in 10 years?
He takes a small deposit. There was £100
Right.
to get to be on the list.
Okay.
And then when your name comes up,
£100.
you're ready to go.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Wow. And I suppose then if you say, I don't want the guitar, I don't want it. It just goes to the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Analog Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
But he got flooded and he's like, I just have to, draw a line. And,
Close it. Yeah. Wow.
But, really pleased for him.
I wouldn't be able to cope with that.
Joseph Turchi says, how was Idols? So I can tell you, Idols was one of the best gigs I've ever seen in my life. I wish you had been there to be pummeled by the wall of noise from those guitars. It was religious.
Dan sent me a text saying, I'm at Idols, and I replied with something along the lines of, I don't want to go to any more gigs because no one uses amps anymore. And he sends me this picture of a wall of 100-watt amps.
So good.
And it's like, yes, people still do use amps, and they use them in a very angry rock and roll manner. Happy days.
I can tell you right now, there is no way that those boys could say what they were saying with those amps through anything but 100-watt amplifiers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Happy days.
They...
He's still my beating heart.
I was going to film with them, but at the last minute that got canned because of COVID regulations. So we're going to do something something else, something more intimate, hopefully before too long. But wow, I've never seen anything like it. They were. I'll do a vlog. It's useless me trying to explain it, but the passion, the authenticity of it all was what grabbed everyone, and it was moving beyond words.
They mean it.
Oh man,
Happy days. Happy days.
yeah.
Mark Carey says, I love the Reverb show from Friday. Thanks,
Oh,
Mark.
thanks, Mark.
The jams give great context. At the moment, though, I can't get beyond a Les Paul straight into the front of a couple of crank Marshalls into a stereo 412. Keep up the good work.
You don't need to get past that.
Nothing to get past
It's
there, is there,
epic.
really?
Epic.
Duncan Plexico. Hi, Duncan.
Hey, Duncan.
He says, hi, D&M. Friday's show kicked ass. And for an American, Duncan, you put an R in ass, which I really like. He says, I put the CXM back on the board with the expression pedal added to blend the mix. Yummy. That's what TPS is all about. Thank you.
Excellent. Well
Thank
done,
you,
mate.
Duncan. Arpad's on. Medieval Cookery
Hey,
with Arpad.
buddy.
He says, hi, lads. I owe you a massive apology. Ceterum senso means furthermore. I think we're the ones that should be sorry, Arpad, for not understanding our Latin.
Okay.
Catherine did Latin.
Did she?
Yeah. I was nagging you about doing something about 15-inch speakers. Yeah.
Romanos, go home. Right, write it 100 times in 15-foot tall letters.
Thanks for being there. You've motivated me to restart my channel. Oh, good on you,
Oh,
Arpad.
well done, mate.
Yeah, check out Medieval Cookery with Arpad on YouTube. He's the last one I watched. He's in a forest with some fire, cooking stuff.
Wicked.
Yeah. Chad Blake. Hello, Chad. D&M, a big thank you for all your help in the best sound I've had in 20 years.
Awesome.
Wet
That's
dry
great, mate. Well
with a
done.
Morgan AC20 and a vintage Princeton reverb. Glorious.
That's not going to suck.
No. Speaking of reverb, any love for the Free the Tone ambi space? Bizarrely, given that we are fans of Free the Tone stuff in quite a big way, the ambi space had passed us both by.
Yeah.
However, they have sent us a new one. I think they've made some updates to it or done something or other.
Okay.
And I'm quite looking forward to getting into it, because if it's on the par with
The rest of the stuff.
their delays and the Tri-Avatar chorus, then it's going to be
Magic.
spectacularly good.
Yeah.
So, but you already know that, Chad, because it sounds like you already have one. So expect to see that on the show in coming weeks. Shawnee is Cubs fan 1. Hi guys, I'm looking to get a PRS S2 Custom 24. What do you think? Cheers from snowy Chicago. Chicago is my kind of...
Over to you.
I wish I could have been on the Muppet Show. Yeah, we've got an S2 Standard 22, which is a really cool guitar, actually. It's for anyone who doesn't know, S2 sits between Core Line, I think, which is the normal American PRS guitars, and SE, made in the US, and price point reflects that. All the ones I've played I've really liked. In fact, I prefer the look of the S2 models to a lot of the normal ones.
Right.
Although, I did promise myself I'm going to start playing the old DGT again.
It's a great sounding guitar.
It had been over in the other building for a minute because it was over there doing a job, and I picked it up and it was like so perfectly in tune, having just been sat on a stand for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
I was like, I should totally play this guitar more.
Sure.
It's such a great guitar.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we say yes. Dan and I not a fan of 24 frets. Don't know what they're for, to be honest. And it does put everything in a different place. But if you use those frets, then go for it. I think, there's little doubt that PRS make among the best production line electric guitars anywhere in the world.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, but as always, you got to play it.
Yep.
You got to play it.
I'm only a bit quiet in that one because
Your Dan doesn't like PRS guitars.
I just haven't ever connected with them.
No.
And your DGT is an amazing sounding guitar, and every time you play, it's like, that's how I want to sound on them. But I can't play like that.
Yeah.
You know, I hear Dave Grissom playing that guitar. I went down to World Guitars years ago with a big pocket full of dirty cash, going, I'm going to walk out with one of those guitars. And I sat there for a couple of hours trying to get the guitar to work for me, and it just couldn't. But I listened to Dave Grissom play it, and it's like, just what a magic guitar sound.
Yeah, I think the pickups have a familial sound. I know Paul's done millions of pickups over the years, but
Even just acoustically, it sounds fantastic.
it is a really great guitar, actually. The truth of the matter is I struggle ergonomically because of where the neck and the body is. This is not a heavy guitar at all. In fact, I was lucky enough to pick it from a bunch, and I picked the best sounding one was the one I liked the look of the least.
Really?
That was the lightest one.
Right.
And the second lightest one was this.
Okay.
And I love the look of it.
Right.
And but it even though it's not a heavy guitar, it still does that when I sit down,
Okay.
and I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
So when I stand up, I like it. I did gig this guitar for a good couple of years.
Right. Wow.
It was one of my main guitars. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And they're consistently the best playing guitars I've ever owned.
Right.
I had a custom 22 once, which to my ears, and this is a personal opinion, was the best playing, worst sounding guitar I'd ever owned.
Really?
Just because the pickups were so overwhelmed.
Yeah, right,
And for certain styles, it's exactly the thing. And it would be, a few of you out there, it would be your favourite sounding guitar, but just for what I like in a guitar, it was just too much.
Too much.
But this, I'm going to start playing this again more. It's a flipping great guitar, and it deserves to be played.
Yep. Very nice.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was a rather lengthy answer, wasn't it? Tangents, us. Legends says Bimo Adiguna Putra. Bino Adiguna Putra says Legends. I had a bizarre dream last week.
Oh dear.
When I was invited to John Mayer's private gig. I guess he was on drums. It was only me, Dan.
Wicked.
No question, just appreciation for playing a gig in my dream.
Oh, very good.
I don't know about you lot, but whenever I have a dream like that, it always starts out well, and then I walk out onto stage and I realise that I don't know any of the songs because the set list has just changed. The guitar didn't turn up, so all I've got is my vacuum cleaner and I'm naked. And it's like, wow, this isn't what I was expecting at all. You know? Do you get that?
I do.
I mean, naked vacuuming aside, which is a whole other,
I do get the dream where I'm about to go on stage and I don't have any of my gear and I don't know the songs. And I wake up and like in a pool of sweat.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Okay, I'm going to turn the super chats off because we are full for today. So please, no more super chats, but anyone who has super chatted to this point, we will answer. Okay? Because Dan and I have got meat feast tonight.
We do.
Don't want to be late for that.
We do.
Turn off. There you go. Will it turn back on again? Will it turn back on? No.
Well done.
Yes, a lamb tagine tonight, Dan.
Lamb tagine.
Although I think it'll be more like stew because I didn't.
Lamb tagine.
It's got the tagine spices.
Right.
But it doesn't have it's like apricots and a few other things that really make it a good tagine.
That's good. I'm really excited now.
No, it doesn't have those things.
Oh.
It's got the spices,
That'll do.
but no apricots.
It's lamb.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm still excited.
Yeah.
Let's bang through these then.
Yeah, it sounds like... right. Oh, yeah, there's a question or two, Dan. Let's see, where are we? We are here. We're from Greetings from Dreary Hull, says Tom K. Recently scaled down my pedalboard to just the essentials, alleviating my option paralysis. I'm feeling much more inspired. Any love for the CBA Mood and Blooper, Chase Bliss Audio Mood and Blooper? So much fun.
I've got the Mood on my board now. I don't have a blooper, but I am exploring the Mood at the moment and having... So it's really interesting with the Mood. It is super unpredictable, and it really keeps you on your toes, and I like it for that. I was using the microcosm, and I may still use it, but microcosm currently isn't on the board. And the microcosm was more predictable than the blooper. But there's something about the blooper. There's a sort of almost an anarchic quality to it that I'm really, really digging. I am going to do a vlog on understanding the dip switches on chase with pedals because I think a lot of people see their switches at the back and go,
no,
stop, go. So I've been meaning to do it for a while. It's really, really interesting. I just think Joel is one of the best guys in our industry.
100%.
Flippin' heck, man. He is like NASA clever.
Yeah, but with the imagination to make
and pairs it with creativity.
To make it relevant to something.
Just
I had
amazing.
to learn the blooper. A couple of years ago, 18 months ago, Dan and I did a show called Get Out of Your Comfort Zone where we had to write a track. And one of the tracks, I think, was one of the pedals was the blooper, and I had to learn it. And what that, normally I'd run a mile from anything like that because you really do need to put some hours in order to even just understand how it works, basically, even before you can start using it. And I had a fantastic time with it.
Yeah.
And one of the most creative things I've ever done was actually putting the time into using it.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I haven't revisited it because I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
And I guess if you were in a performance environment which enabled you that sort of latitude to use that kind of stuff, it would be fantastic. Or indeed, if you were composing stuff frequently enough to do it, I'd totally be using that stuff. Because the only issue, which is to build on what he said about unpredictability, is then if you do need to recreate any of that stuff you created, that can be a challenge.
Yeah, if that's so. One of the things that the guys in Idols do, because they use a lot of those, Bowden uses a lot of those modular sensor stuff and has a lot of chaos stuff going on. If there's anything in a particular song that he needs, that will be sampled, that he sort of triggers and plays in to that stuff.
Yeah.
But so much of it happens on the fly, on the spot in the night.
Yeah.
And you've got to be willing to go there, so understanding how it all works and samples and moves and stuff is super important, but then being willing to explore the outcome of it and experiment with the outcome of it is also the other side to it.
Having enough scope to go, that's
Exactly.
okay if we're going in that direction.
Exactly.
As for paring down to essentials, Tom, I feel you on that. I'm thinking of doing something similar for what it's worth. Just to try and focus back in on, for now, it's always a cake, right, isn't it? You've got your eggs, your sugar, your flour, carrots, if you're making a carrot cake. Who knew there was actual carrots in a carrot cake?
Is there?
Are you kidding?
No, I've never had carrot in my carrot cake.
Loads of carrots in a
Is
carrot
there?
cake. Yeah.
Really?
It's my favourite cake, and I make them fairly frequently. And loads of carrots.
Wow.
Anyway, you got it all, and it's all important in the cake, right? So this is not a very good analogy at all. I guess my point is, what is chiefly important to you now is not what's chiefly important to you tomorrow. So a couple of years ago, personal example, I'm really on top of my playing. I'm doing quite a lot of playing. I feel really comfortable with my playing. So I'm willing, I've got the headspace and I've got the confidence to experiment more with sound, do a few more out there things.
Interesting.
Right. 2 years later, my playing is in a hole. It's just not in a place that I'm very happy with because I'm not playing enough. It's, there's no need to be maudlin about it. It's just a fact that I'm just not playing enough. So then to give one's attention to doing anything creative with tone becomes impossible.
Sure.
Because the playing's not there.
And you got to like what's going into it.
Yeah. So, and I think it's always like that. It's so easy to look at a player or just somebody you like as an artist or even yourself and see that snapshot as that's how it always is, and it's not. It's malleable, and it's always changing. And it might be that you're at one of those points. I'm not saying your playing's not on top, but it might be that you're at one of those points where you just don't want to do that. You want to concentrate on the basics and the connection. And I totally feel you.
Yep. Mick and I were talking last week about gigs, so we are going to book some gigs in the near future. We do hope to get Andy Timmons out when everything opens up and we're all good to go again.
Yeah.
Before that happens, the band needs to play some shows, get back to a level that we're on fire, because I don't want Andy coming out going, I haven't played in a few years. This could be a bit rusty.
But it's amazing how those things, you might think that you're not in a great place, but some situation that you're dropped into
pulls them out of you.
Essentially forces you to get on your game quite quickly.
Absolutely.
And it's always surprising how much headroom you've got in there.
Yeah.
When you have to take the brakes off.
Sure.
And it sounds just too obvious to say it, but not gigging is just so destructive for anyone who has gigged a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it just
absolutely
it kills. It does my head in.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Anyway,
there we go.
I'm not moaning, just saying.
That'll be the name of our
JFDI. Isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you don't know what that acronym is, look it up. JFDI.
Yep.
Paul Jolstead. Thank you, Paul. There's no question attached to that, so we'll look out for something. Bobbler42. Hello.
Hello, mate.
He says, folks, I'm part Xing an AC15 for a Supro Super.
Nice.
It's too loud for my flat. I guess you mean the AC15. I still have an AC4, but that lacks a tone cut. How expensive or tricky would a mod be to adding one? So how could one add a tone cut to an AC4?
Yeah, but I don't think the tone cut's going to... I guess it depends. It depends on how loud you can play that thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Depends where it is in the circuit and what kind of AC4 it is. If it's like a PCB, modern PCB AC4, it might be tough to get to.
Yeah.
If there's a bit more kind of turret board style construction in there, or eyelets, I don't know what they were when they used to be, that would be easier. But you'd need a circuit diagram. You'd need to talk to someone who knew what they were doing. Probably better off taking it to an amp tech and have them do it.
However, again, depending on the amp it is, you might actually, if it's not an amp that's doing it for you, you might be better off just getting something else. If it's a hand-wired AC4, and it's really expensive, then it might be worth getting it modded. But if it's not, and you're not happy with the sound of it at home, it might be worth looking at something else, because getting that mod done properly, it's going to cost cash.
Just looking at it, the AC4 TV, which is the current one. Yeah, I mean, it's got a tone knob, but that's not a tone cut knob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck, Bobbler. Matt Scott. Dan, did you name the Time Lord adapter, or did someone else at the gig rig name it? Are you a Doctor Who fan?
I named it. My wife is a massive Doctor Who fan. So I named it. I don't really remember why I called it Time Lord. It was 9 volt in, 9 volt out.
Because was it for a timeline?
It was for the timeline. That's right. It's for the timeline. So I thought, yeah, Time Lord.
I've obviously missed something about Doctor Who.
I don't think you have. There's some... Okay. The David Tennant series I thought was fantastic. Billy Piper as Rose. Absolutely...
It's for kids, right?
Wonderful. Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
But then Matt Smith I thought was good, but...
Surely it's for kids. Any swearing in it?
No.
Any sex?
Loads of sex.
Drugs?
Like you wouldn't believe the amount of drugs.
So it's for kids then?
Yeah. I don't know. I think
It's so cheesy.
A lot of it's not. I think you'd like the David Tennant stuff because the writing, Russell T Davies, I think, wrote that series, and it is genius. And he's coming back apparently for the next series. Yeah. So I really like that, but the stuff after that,
To be fair, I don't like any
really,
sci-fi whatsoever.
See, my wife and I are big sci-fi fans.
There you go. That's
We
probably
really
what
like
it is
it.
then. Yeah, I'm not hating on Doctor Who or anything. Sometimes you just don't understand something. Like all those people who really think John Mayer is rubbish.
Sure.
Who genuinely, at the bottom of their hearts, feel like John Mayer is rubbish. Sure. And whether you like him or not, he's not rubbish. So it's probably that. It's probably I just can't see it.
Yeah.
I just need the veil lifted down.
Bob the 42 has just reminded me something. R.I.P. Mr. Loaf.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes.
Neat.
Now, I had a Meat Loaf story. I met Meat Loaf once.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. So, I was at a gig in Sydney and there was this music expo. There's a thing for record companies and stuff. And I was there with Max Sharam and we were playing and Meat Loaf was the compere.
No way.
And we were all set up, waiting to go on, and he just wandered over and just chatted to us for like about 20 minutes. And he was lovely.
Wow.
He was just chatted, laughed really easily, really lovely guy.
Yeah, wow.
So...
I mean, he was such a massive star, wasn't he?
He was a man. That album, I think it was in the top 40, one of the top 40 albums of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. R.I.P. Mr. Loaf.
Mm.
He was lovely.
Bless him. Sorry, I'm just reading about his demise. Yeah, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Greetings from Singapore, says Dennis Chai. Thank you, Dennis.
I used to live in Singapore.
Did you?
I lived there for 18 months.
No way.
Yeah. Used to play at the Europa clubs in Singapore.
No way.
Yeah. It's a great place. Lovely.
Great tones from Friday's show, he says.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you. Ranzair, hello Ran. He says, greetings, heels. Ever thought about a merch collab with Andertons, especially for internationals? They have great shipping rates and I would love throwing in a TPS shirt with my next gear purchase. Honestly, no. The merch is so essential to us, and in order to make any money on it whatsoever, we have to sell it ourselves. If we give away margin to someone else, we don't make enough money to do everything that we need to do. So we appreciate that, depending on where you are in the world. I mean, we ship to America probably more cost effectively than Andertons, because I don't think they can do small parcels. But certainly the USA, our shipping is extremely competitive, and it is to most places in the world, but there are some places where it's not. But we do ship all over the world every day. Some places, again, we can't ship to for various boring reasons, but most places we ship to. Yeah. And yes, it might be a little bit more expensive, but that is the only way we stay in business, by selling merch. So,
and not that we'd love to do merch with Lee and Pete, because we love them. They're amazing. It's not that. It's just that the TPS merch is what keeps these lights on. Exactly. So we can't. At the moment, we can't really afford to do it any other way. Is the truth of the matter. Yeah. So, Wastel10 says, "Hi guys, I love your content. Thank you. Thank you, mate." He says, "I got an AC15C1 and it's perfect in the band mix. They're really great. But mini spark as a solo boost at the end of the board just equals more distortion. Yep. So do I need more preamp, tubes with more headroom, or build in an effects loop kit?" So it's really tricky. That amplifier is amazing sounding thing, but as soon as you push more gain into it, try to get more level out of it, the reason it sounds great is because it's operating. If you're on a band mixed and you've got it turned up so you can hear yourself, it'll be operating in where it's the output stage is just starting to clip and everything's warm and lovely, and that's a place where, as guitar players, a lot of us love to be. It just feels right. Now, no matter how you try and do it, whether you're pushing more into the front or even if you get an effects loop and try and push more into the loop, if the power stage is clipping, which it will be, it's going to do the same thing. It's still going to clip.
Yeah.
This is a reason why Mick and I gravitate towards amplifiers that have got more headroom, so that when we want to boost things, then that headroom is there. Because even just a little bit of lift does take more power. Substantially more power. So, one thing to do is look for a booster that has less bottom end. So the Spark is a really great sounding thing. It's, it compresses and grinds in a really lovely way, but it has a fairly full frequency. And when you're trying to boost full frequency into that amplifier and it takes more energy to amplify the lower frequencies.
Yeah,
right?
You need to get rid of some bass, basically.
You need to get rid of some bass. So even if you just get a graphic EQ and show off some bass and give it a bit of a lift, that may give you enough to lift you above the sound pressure levels of the rest of the band.
I think that would actually be very effective if you got an EQ and you cut from 100 hertz down and you boost from about 3K up, or maybe between 1 and 3K and boost just up from there. You'll probably find that that's enough to lift you out.
Yeah.
The other thing you could do is look for a much more efficient speaker, because the C1, if you've got the straight C1, that's a greenback, that is a pretty low efficiency speaker. So you could look for a speaker that is rated higher in terms of its sensitivity rating. I think greenbacks are 97, 98 maybe. If you looked for something that was 100, 101, you'd be amazed how much more punch that would give you. Wouldn't sound as nice at lower levels perhaps, but you're in a gigging situation. So
yeah, but good luck with that.
Yeah.
Try an EQ before you do anything else.
Yeah, and specifically to your question, lower distortion preamp tubes, that will work if the problem is in the pre, but as Dan alluded, it's probably in the power section that you're getting a lot of that distortion from. So yeah, it's the headroom head scratcher.
Yep, with great headroom.
Yeah,
comes great.
What you could do is just pick up a Pro Junior, put next to it, and switch that in for your solos.
Yeah. Just have an on-off switch for the Pro Junior. For the solos, just bring that in as well. That's great.
Then they'll hear you. Pat Tugman. Hello, Pat. TPS on a crystal blue sky morning in
lovely.
Centennial, Colorado is proof that I am not fully recovered from the weekend. Turns some knobs for me, gents. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Pat.
Hope you feel better.
Have you done Colorado?
No.
Is that?
I've been to Utah, whatever those mountains are.
Okay.
But never been to Colorado.
Where are the Rockies?
I think that's the bottom of the Rockies, isn't it?
Right, okay.
I don't know. For those of you au fait with American geographical places, please excuse us. My geography teacher always used to say, geography is not about where places are, it's about why places are where they are.
Okay. Did she do a lot of drugs and...
Plate tectonics, man.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. No, that stuff is fascinating.
Yeah. Was it fluvial? Anyway, whatever. It was all boring. Good day from Ontario, Canada, says Big Shorty. He was a he, by the way. Those were the days where you could throw board rubbers at people for not concentrating.
Oh, yeah.
You'd get taken to court for that now, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I remember border races flying past my head.
Taylor, stop looking out the window!
Did you ever get the cane?
They'd stopped it a few years before I got to the school.
Right.
I think they stopped it the same year they stopped Latin. Did you get the cane?
I never got it. I got close.
Yeah.
I never got it. I think a few friends of mine, grade 8, were caught smoking down the bottom of the school like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Right, you! Oh, and then our school was called 6 of the best. So,
wow, they still had it?
Yeah.
God. No, we that was a bit after that. Goodness me. Big Shorty, good day from Ontario, Canada. My question for you guys is, do you have any advice for young musicians playing with a loud drummer for the first time?
Yeah.
My daughter, drummer, seems to intimidate and shy off other musicians with the level.
Yeah, so this is super interesting. For anyone playing in a band for the first time, one thing that you'll notice immediately is there's that big sound pressure level.
Yeah.
And you've got to embrace it because it really is fun, but you've got to embrace it. So, first thing for any young musician, look after your ears. If you're going to be in that area for a long time, get used to it, look after your ears, but also get into a practice room and practice playing at a level that will work with your drummer. Everything, everything that ends up in your amplifier, right? Your amplifier reacts differently to everything at that level. Your guitar reacts differently to it. Your pedals are going to sound different. So you need to get used to playing at those levels before you get into the room with the drummer. Otherwise, you're going to get in there, nothing's going to sound the way that you think it's going to sound, and it's really hard work. You're trying to adjust things on the fly. You don't really understand what's going on because, you're nervous. So the most important thing before, playing in that sort of environment, get somewhere where you can turn your amp up and make sure that your amp is doing what you need it to do at that level.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff your daughter can learn as well. So it is really important to play with sensitivity to everyone that's around. I've definitely been in bands, as a kid where it's been like a war of attrition.
Yeah.
Where everyone's trying to outdo each other and state their authority and all of that, and it just becomes an unpleasant experience. Those are rites of passage. That's what being in a band when you're a kid is all about.
Indeed.
So I don't want to take the fun out of it, but, she will become a great musician and a much better musician and a musician who people ask back if her job is to help regulate what's going on.
Right, that's good.
If you play with Dougie, watch the band shows, Dougie is listening. He spends his life listening.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays to what else is going on.
Yep.
And he does it with such grace and he does it with such...
sensitivity.
Sympathy
for
what is happening. He doesn't need to assert because he's a fantastic drummer. And he is a fantastic groove monster. And playing with him is just such a pleasure. And... that's why Dougie gets asked to do loads of stuff, because he goes in there and he sits in and everyone wants to play with him. I have played with drummers who insist on using the fat end of the stick, who've got like a snare drum that deep, and who just...
Let me show you how loud I can hit this snare drum.
Same as guitar players. I mean, I've played my fair share of obnoxiously loud gigs before as a guitar player, but, I guess when you grow up, what you realise is this is a joint effort, not a war of individuals. So there's probably a bit of give and take on everyone's part there, and maybe your daughter could adopt that role of being a little bit more. Could essentially be. I don't necessarily want to say be the leader, but help those other people understand that volume.
Mm.
So, you could try stuff like, let's play as quiet as we can to as loud as we can, and come back down. Let's play a game of dynamic.
Yeah, and that's really important. So someone just mentioned, don't turn up, turn something else down. And the reason I would say not necessarily, it's not about playing loud all the time. Yeah. It's understanding what volume gives you. And volume gives you the opportunity for dynamics.
Yeah.
And it's like there's nothing like if you need to lift to come up, to at the part of a song lifts and it gets really loud for that section, but then when it comes back down
and everyone goes, whoa.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Yeah. Now if you don't, but volume gives you that opportunity.
And it takes years, it's not...
It does.
A bit like any sort of theory. We know the theory, but actually putting into practice does require
Yeah.
a lot of experience doing it, and
Yeah.
it doesn't always work. G Barge says you're describing Ringo.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
No arguments there.
Love him.
Anyway, great that your daughter's out there hitting tubs.
Wonderful.
Brilliant. Happy days.
Yep.
I'm pleased that acoustic drums are still in the game. Teva McGillis, we have a super chat from you, but no question. So I'll just check. BV normally lets me know if we've missed it. Nothing yet.
Francis-
So Teva, sorry if we've missed you.
Indeed. Sorry, Francisco Hurtado says greetings from Peru.
Ah.
My favourite show. How lovely.
Hello, Peru. Is that where Paddington Bear came from? See, now that's a good film.
That's a great film.
Have you seen Paddington 2?
Yeah.
I must have seen it 5 times and I cry every time at the end when she turns up.
Turns up.
I know.
The auntie. Yeah, lovely.
Greetings, chaps, says Michael Bester. I'm considering upgrading my compressor to a Cali 76. Without having them side by side to try out, which would you opt for and why? A compact deluxe or a stacked? Thank you.
Interesting. The compact deluxe for me is the most flexible, but this it's tricky. The stacked, if you're a fan of what's his name, Loud George, and that sound where he has two 1176s sort of one going into the other, so the second compressor will hit what the first one misses. It's a really great sound, especially with slide.
They both have two. They both have two.
That's the slide rig though.
Oh, so it is.
Yeah, so that's a specific thing and a really great sounding thing.
Forget what I just said. Apologies.
The standard one I think is when I need a compressor that whenever I've put that on the board and I turn it on, things just sound better. And it doesn't have to be compressing a lot. It's just a really wonderful circuit. It'll obviously do the 1176 thing, which is really, really cool. But the way that you blend in those upper frequencies, it sounds great. The stack thing is when you want the sound of two 1176s going into each other, which again is a really cool sound. Just depends what you're after.
Yeah, okay, so controls wise, it's all the same on the top, dry, out and in. So
Right.
you've got input level, output level, and indeed your dry signal level, which is a really great thing on a compressor.
Yep. Same on the top row.
Yeah.
Yep.
What we've got is on the regular compact deluxe, we've got separate controls for attack and release. Whereas on the stacked edition, they are mashed into one control.
Yep.
We've got a ratio knob on the regular one, which
Right.
we don't have on this one.
Yep.
So I don't know whether that's internal or something, or whether it's set.
I think that's just set.
And we've got the how much one goes into the other
Yeah.
on the stacked, which obviously you don't need on that because it's only one stage. Yeah, that's a tough decision.
Yeah.
That's a tough decision.
For me, it'd
What
be
he just said.
Yeah, yeah.
If you want that double compressed Loud George thing stacked, if you just want a great all-round compressor that's less overt, that
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah. To be honest, though, it's either or will be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine having such two products that are so close together in the product line, I would imagine there's some good information on the website.
Yeah.
'Cause if
yeah.
you've
and
got
there
two-
are loads of examples online of people playing it.
Yeah. Good luck, Michael.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy it. Paul Matulovic. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Rewatching some old pick and mix and such, just thought I'd tell you the Morning Glory is a firework, you naughty, naughty boys. Might be where you're from, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it when those cultural things are just completely ships in the night, you know?
Very funny.
We do know, Paul, thank you. PSD Mikey 169. PSD Mikey 169. I just picked up a custom shop telly. I blame Dan and Danish Pete. I don't really like the colour, but it's awesome. Have you had one, and one where you didn't like the colour but loved the way it played?
Well, I've got two. Red is a custom shop, and also so is Butters. And I think they both look glorious. So no, I think Mick and I both. The look of a guitar is a massive thing, and what.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught the PRS story earlier, but when I tried out my DGT, there was one that sounded better of it than it in a colour that I didn't like.
Right.
Not doing it.
Yeah.
3 rules of buying a guitar: what it looks like, what it looks like, what it looks like.
Yeah.
And that is, I'm semi-serious about that,
right.
actually, because here's one for you then. None of us are good enough to get out of what that guitar can do.
Sure.
So it's so beyond any of our capabilities. It doesn't matter if you don't think it sounds 10% better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
All that matters is you want to play it. Now, if it doesn't sound good, I definitely don't want to play it.
Yeah.
But if it sounds pretty good,
and
but it looks fantastic, I want to play it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I know it's really shallow, but...
Well, it's not shallow, but it also, I think a lot of that, what it looks like, can come down to what that guitar means to you. So I remember when I first got this guitar, and, you know, I love the look of it, but I remember first getting it, and I had sat up against the unit in my lounge room, and I just sat and looked at it for like 20 minutes, wondering about its story and how, you know, how that thing got in there and all this stuff, and just thinking how beautiful it is and all the crud that's got in around the pickups and everything. And I love that.
They're objects, aren't
and
they?
the same thing with my brand new acoustic guitar. You know, when I took that picture, it's because I was sat there looking at the guitar going, "You're just so beautiful," and I needed to share the love.
They are. I mean, they have got massive object value.
They do. They do.
So yeah, I have. Have I? Yeah, I don't think I've owned a guitar that I don't like the look of in recent history.
Very good.
Anyway, congrats on the custom shop telly. Hope you love it. I would be interested to know what colour it is that you don't love. Fender Jeff says, you guys often mention latency with digital effects. This is an odd question, but could there be latency from cable length, in brackets, in an analog environment? I'm thinking Buddy Guy's 100-foot cable or longer. Just hypothetical.
No.
There you go.
So, think of it like this. Think of that cable length, but think of it in terms of ball bearings going down that cable length, and they're all touching, right? And as long as that cable length is, as soon as I knock one, it's the speed of light. It's instant down the other end.
Is it?
Yeah. So as instant as it's basically the speed of light. You know,
so
current's different.
But if you go to the sun, there'd be latency. Like the stars, for example, aren't there anymore?
Yes, but if you there's a really great physics guy, and I watched a few of his videos, and he poses the question: if you have a light and a switch, and the cable that turns the light switch goes basically the length of the sun and comes back.
Yeah.
How long will it take when you flick the switch?
Yeah.
And the answer is it's instant. Because it's not...
It's not light.
Because it's not light.
There you go. So it's not the speed of light.
So it's not the... What... Yeah. It's physics. But it's really interesting. But basically, it is.
Oh, I can't wait to read the comment section on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very different. It's very different because, you know, I used to think about that stuff. What are some other really cool ways to do delay, for example? Because there's, you know, the Cooper tube delay effect, which came on the new Universal Audio Starlight. And you look at that stuff, and it's so flippin' interesting. I thought, what would happen if you had a length of cable that was longer than the Earth? You know, what sort of sound would that? And it's actually, no, you'd be pretty much instant.
There you go then. So no latency on a 100-foot cable. Jury's out on whether it's what's the circumference of the Earth? 50-some thousand miles. Is it? I don't know what it is. 2 mugs just ordered, says Tony Hill. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
My phone keeps buzzing with people buying mugs, so thank you for buying the mugs.
Cup-a-tone.
Cup-a-tone, yeah. Where are we? Oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing here, as usual.
Forks House says, my take on the speed thing. Guitars sure are pretty.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Mike, 2203 fan. Hey, Mike, hope you're doing well. Mike came to one of our experience days. The next experience day is on Friday, which we're very much looking forward to.
Cannot wait.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
They're always
They're
good.
So much fun.
Guys, I just got on the 6-year list for a Kincaid guitar. What a helpful man he is.
He's the best.
Dan's vids were brill. However, my question is, I've seen a new Gibson 335s at £2,599, £2,599. Are these okay? Really hard to say, Mike. I haven't played any of the new ones. No reason why they wouldn't be. Yeah, you got to play it. Really, you got to play the guitar and make sure you just like it. But no reason why it wouldn't be okay.
Yeah,
yeah. Interestingly, the used ones. I keep an eye on. I look at used guitars all the time, just in case. And I always look at the Memphis guitars. I have a high hit rate with the Memphis guitars being guitars that I really liked. And man, they're expensive.
Right.
Yeah, really expensive now. They've held their more than new value.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much, which is unusual for a modern production electric guitar.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
But no reason why it wouldn't be good, Mike.
I think with any guitar like that, if you can get to go and play one. Yeah. Because I've played some really amazing, expensive guitars that I've picked up and gone. I remember picking up a vintage guitar. It was like a 335 copy. Picking up, going, and there was like 6 of them there. And one of them I picked up was like, this thing's unbelievable. Yeah. The rest were...
That's the vintage guitar brand.
Yeah, the rest were good. They're all sort of really consistent, but there was one particular one.
Yeah.
It's like...
No reason why it wouldn't be, is there?
Yeah.
There's no reason why it wouldn't be decent.
A conversation I have with Carl Longbottom about wood, because, that guy really knows his...
Doesn't make any difference, wood. The internet says it doesn't make any difference.
But he says you can have 2 necks from the same bit of wood, one cut next to each other. One's going to be magic, one might be just, it's just wood is a thing.
Come on, Dan. You know that the only thing you can hear in a guitar is the pickup, nothing else.
This is true.
People online have said if you attach it to a metal plate, it sounds exactly the same.
Right.
Yeah. So
I think we proved that with Henning.
Yeah. Shatman 2, he says, thanks for answering my question last week. I had huge FOMO with regard to John Mayer. Shatman 2 was dissing on John last week. That's an interesting FOMO, fear of missing out. So he feels like, a bit like me with Doctor Who, he's like, what am I missing here? Right. So we totally get you. Yep. I just have to accept that he's not my cup of tea. No hate for him. Yeah.
You know what?
Chatman. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay to like what you like, and it's okay not to like what you don't like.
It totally is.
It's all good.
I'm sure we could come up with a list of guitars, amps, pedals, artists.
Oh, man.
Foodstuffs.
Totally.
That we really love and we really don't, and it's all good. Otherwise, right, what would it be? Everything would be the same.
Mick and I have very different tastes with lots of stuff, but I think...
Dan likes awful music.
When we talk about this stuff, it's what makes the conversation so interesting, because we come at it from different experiences and different sort of, stuff.
There's a great comment on the weekend's video today, which I got really annoyed about when I read it this morning. It said... something like, I love how Mick just can't handle any other music apart from blues, or gets scared when it's any other music apart from blues. And I was like, I don't listen to blues, but it's the only thing I can kind of play on the guitar. So
I don't agree.
You'd be astounded at what's in my playlist. Not that I care really what anyone thinks, but I obviously do because the comment annoyed me so much. But it's like, it's taking this snapshot of what you think somebody's life is by a flipping 55-minute YouTube video. Man, you guys should play some gigs just sitting there on those stools. It's like, what have we been doing for the last 30 years? Anyway, that's just the internet, isn't it? So yeah, like what you like, and that's great, isn't it?
It's great.
I think what is interesting about John Mayer, especially, but also any other massive artist that you can mention, is that they very often are Marmite.
Totally.
It's like, you can't be loved unless somebody hates you.
Simon Neil said he'd rather be 10 people's favourite band than 100 people's
9th favourite band.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, and that, there's a bit of karma in there, isn't there? Or a bit of two sides of the same coin. You can't have this without that. And that's the nature of it.
I had a conversation with my brother-in-law when I was young, and I don't remember much from that period of my life, but I'll never forget this conversation. And he knew I wanted to be a guitar player and, do music and stuff. And he said, if you do what you're truly passionate about, he said, you'll live the life of an artist. He said, now you might not ever be successful, you might not ever make any really money, but if you truly live and do what you're passionate about, you'll live the life of an artist, and there'll be joy and stuff in there. And I thought, it's so true. And in that is integrity, and it's just something that's always stuck with me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
whether
true,
people like it or not. It's like, well, this is me.
Yeah, do what's true to you. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of good advice in that, and whether it's playing guitar or cooking or whatever it is that you do, you might not necessarily be as wealthy as you want to be, but you'll be happy.
But
or you will be at peace.
Yeah, but there's a different thing as well. It's when you stop trying to do stuff to make other people happy. Think, I'll just do my own thing. That is actually what people connect with.
Yeah, completely.
It's just fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting deep today.
So good. Well, you know how I like that. Danny Garza in the regular chat says he just bought an Epiphone 335.
Right.
It plays great, but do you have any tips on how to cut some mids from the pickups? I want them more single coilish. Drop them down lower.
Yeah.
That might help a bit. But
it's never going to sound like a single coil. It is its thing.
No, what you might want to do is just at some point when you've got some cash, replace them for something like a Lola Imperial low wind and make it 50s wired. If you do those two jobs, which, might sound like a lot of cash, or you may not necessarily need to go for the Lolas, I don't know where you are, wherever you are in the world, whatever's a sort of nice quality, handmade, vintage PAF style pickup, and many people make them, but Dan and I would particularly recommend Lola Imperial low winds, and get it 50s wired, and you will be utterly astounded what difference it makes to that guitar.
Yep. Or it might just be grab an EQ pedal, pull out some of those mids.
Yeah. Because
that can be, you can spend so much time and energy and effort trying new pickups, wiring different strings, different pots, when actually, if there's a frequency in that guitar that's annoying you, it might just be
EQ. Yeah. Phil Dyer is on. Hello, Phil.
Hey, Phil.
Phil's a great guitar player that I met through an association with Victory Amps. And Phil says, no question, just wanted to compliment some inspired playing in Friday's video. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Phil.
Keep up the good work and buy a fancy coffee for yourselves and the team.
I like a fancy coffee.
Thank you.
I have my normal coffee is really sad. It's a decaf soy flat white, which everyone at work calls brown sadness water.
Yeah.
But I remember I was in Australia with my brother. Who's, he's a manly man.
Yeah.
And we're going to a cafe. He says, You're not going to order that coffee, are you? Well, I know. I just get something else, mate. Sorry.
Yeah. Just a glass of water, thanks. Yeah. And you got to really love the taste of coffee to drink decaf, haven't you?
Yeah, but there's still a bit of caffeine in decaf.
Is there?
Yeah.
It's like no alcohol beer and stuff.
Oh, I don't get that.
Yeah. You got to love it. Well, I mean, if you love the taste of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't know. I was doing dry January and had a glass of wine on Friday night and a few more drinks on Saturday night. It was great. Love you, D&M, says Rodrigo Policarpo. Just got a 2-rock traditional clean and that amp ruined me. So I'm selling like that to buy another one. Selling everything else to buy another one. Which would you pair with the traditional clean? Rodrigo, I wish we'd made a video. Actually, I don't wish we made a video, and I will explain it. A friend of mine, Jake Loosemore, came in last week. We were doing another job, which will become apparent soon enough. And he has a traditional clean and a 100-watt silver sterling signature. And he said, "Oh, shall I bring him along? You know, I know you want to hear the silver sterling, and I really want to hear the CRS, so shall I bring him along?" So after we'd done the job for the day, we plugged them all in. I was going to make a video, and then I thought, no, I'm not going to make a video because I want to not worry about production and audio and all of that crap, because it does rather take one's mind off of listening and playing and doing all of that. I just want to play these amps and have some fun, just to really get the feel of them. And I said to Jake, yes, come back and we will make the video. But for tonight, we just want to play. And it was fascinating. So what amp, if it's another 2-rock, what to pair with the Trad Clean, either of those other 2 amps or the TS1, it doesn't matter. If you want massive, clean, huge, you know, let's say his name, John Mayer, and sort of, I know Stevie Ray Vaughan's not massive clean really, but anyway, John Mayer SRV, silver sterling signature every day of the week. It is an utterly astonishing experience.
Wow.
If you want a little bit gnarly around the edges, and instead of that huge, massive, clean, giant thing, and you want a bit more grit, edge, a bit more Doyle Brownlee, a bit more, you know, all that stuff that I like, a bit more Matt Schofield-y, just a bit more edge on everything, CRS.
Right.
If you want Larry, Robin, and all the Dumble guys, TS1.
Oh, wow.
So, depends which way you want to go. But we had the Trad Clean wet dry with the silver sterling and the CRS, and we did them always, and any combination of anything sounded insane. And while we were doing it, I was thinking, I don't even know if I could record this, even if we did have mics up. It's like, but I will get Jake back and we will do it, because you've got to hear it.
Yep.
It's flipping unbelievable. So anyway, lucky you, 2 rocks. I do have designs on being a 2 rock person myself before the end of time. I want a TS1, I think I'm almost there.
Yeah, that's ticking some boxes for you.
It is, but
it?
the pact I've made with myself is I'm not doing it while I'm not playing. It's pointless.
A few weeks. Get the band back together.
Yeah. Anyway, good on you, Rodrigo, and I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it.
What's the Bill Kinnick signature? He's the other 2-rock guy?
Bill Crinard.
Bill Crinard, that's the one.
Yeah.
There was a K.
Yeah. Bill's still... So 2-rock went through 2 ownership changes in history. One was one thing and that ended. It's now owned, I think, predominantly by a guy named Eli Lester, who's a really good guitar player and is so crazy passionate about 2-rock, and he's the one that's rebirthed it to what it is now.
Okay.
And he's owned it, you know, in the last recent history. And he's an amazing engineer. He is tremendously passionate about the brand, and they still work with Bill Crinard.
Okay.
I don't think Joe Mlogonoski is still involved.
Right.
I don't think. I could be wrong.
I heard one of an amp that had his name on it.
Yeah.
An amp years ago. I thought it sounded amazing.
You mean? You mean his name?
Which one is that?
Bottom right, bottom left, I think. That's Eli.
Him.
I think it's that one.
Oh yeah, right. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Signed mix amp.
Well, that's why it's called a signature.
Ah, so they all get in there.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Some people just don't get it, but
Oh, it's magic. Yep. Some of the best sounds I've ever heard in my life have come from that amp. You, the 61.
especially when Matt Schofield was playing it.
No, you, the 61, fuzz face in that amp.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
It's
Sound.
a great thing.
Amazing.
I am going to make an updated video on it actually because I've learned so much about it since I owned it, and I appreciate it is rocking horse doo-doo really, and it's very rarefied air and it's stupidly expensive, but the people who are interested are really interested, so I will do it. JT3483, so happy to catch a live show again. I love Dan's series with the acoustic build, so did I. Any
Very
chance for an acoustic collection show in the near future? It'd be a short show.
But yeah, the two guitars, they're going, this one's good. This one's good too.
Yeah, I've got.
No, you've got a few nice acoustics. That Taylor is lovely.
Yeah, I do have, and I may have a couple more as well.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I've got one acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
I've got another one that is not good,
Yeah.
but I gigged with for years. The lacquer on it is so thick, there's not a ding on it.
Yeah.
I've had beer and stuff thrown at that guitar, not a mark.
Fit for purpose.
Yep, totally.
Exactly.
Yep, sounded as good as it deserved to sound.
Yeah.
Which is not great, but did the job.
It would be good to do some more acoustic stuff. Lots of people are interested in it. We should talk about the pickup in your guitar. Be good to hear that.
Yeah. Let's get John Smith back.
Yeah.
Here you go, John.
He's up for coming back, so yeah, we should do more. We should do more.
Okay, that's a great idea.
Albus Band, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
That tended to underscore the hugeness of the object, he says.
Can I ask a practical question at this point?
Friday ruled. Great episode. And our show was, says Aaron, he did a show. So, you got to pick one band to play for. He's picking the Foo Fighters, which is a flipping great shout.
Crowded House. XTC or Crowded House, but there's no way I'm doing Dave Gregory's part, so Crowded House.
God, that's really hard. It's really hard. I'm going to come up with somebody.
Just love to do a rehearsal with Neil Finn. Just get yelled at a couple of times. Get my act together. Be great.
Who would it be? It's like what we've got here is a Venn diagram.
Yes.
Or at least a three-dimensional sphere. And in that sphere is really musicality, great singing, and loads of BVs. But not too smooth. So James Taylor would have been my answer. With Steve Gadd and Jimmy Johnson, Larry Goldings, backing singers, and JT.
What about
basically B Landau? But that's too smooth for me because you don't get to rock out enough.
Jumping Doors Band.
Too rock.
Interesting.
I want something more orchestrated.
Oh, okay.
Something bigger than that. So it's quite hard having something that rocks enough, but that is also like
interesting and
perfect,
engaging. Yeah.
Production wise.
Okay.
I'd have been much better in the 70s. I'd have been much better
Being a captain,
hanging around Laurel Canyon.
Captain and Tennille. All those guys.
Well, I was thinking more of the Eagles. Jackson Brown.
Very good.
And Joni Mitchell, and I'd have been better in that environment than I am in this one musically.
Yeah.
So it would have been something like that for me, I think.
I would have loved to have played guitar for Billy Joel in the 70s.
You've said that before.
Yeah, I think some
Would
of the
you
guitar
walk off
parts-
every time he plays Piano Man?
No,
Oh right.
no, not at all. I mean, I think you'd have. Well, yeah.
Was it because so we went to a pub and some guy was playing Piano Man and Dan walked out. He said, "I can't listen to that." Was it because he was singing it?
Oh yeah, he was bad.
Right. I thought he was all right actually, but anyway.
I think you'd indulged a lot more than me at that point.
Yeah, I'd had some music improving juice.
Yeah, but no, I saw.
I do want to make that show where we come in for an evening. It's a little bit, we'd have to put an age rating on it, but you come in and we have one drink and we play, and then we have two, and we get to like 10 drinks before the end of the evening and see the effect on the guitar playing. It would have to come with all sorts of public health warnings for all the people who got annoyed by it.
Do we keep Doug sober? So
No.
No, he's going to drink as well.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I was going to say, if we kept him sober, then he could drive us home. Okay.
Sorry, I've got to pick a band. Oh, it's so hard. It's really, really hard. Yeah, I don't think I can do it. Who's my favourite band, Dan? For ages it was Counting Crows. Before that it was Pearl Jam. It's probably currently a combination of Doyle Bramall, Aoife O'Donovan, Sarah Jarosz.
See, I think it's something.
The Brothers Landreth.
Yeah, something like that. I think. Oh man, you and Joe together. That would be something to behold, actually.
Yeah. That probably is going to happen, by the way.
Awesome. Really? When?
Well, when he was going to do his last UK tour, he asked me if I would go on tour with him and play guitar and sing. And I said yes, and it got cancelled because of COVID.
Wow.
So he said if he comes back over again, it will probably happen.
Oh,
So
that's amazing.
that would be it. That's the answer.
FI says, hey Ed, he says, I'm surprised Mick wouldn't go and play in Casey Musgrave's band.
See, now there's a shout. There you go. Thank you, Ed. That'll do. I'll do Casey Musgraves' band, I mean.
Very good.
Yeah, that would be a killer gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Ed. By the way, I need to do something for you, Ed, which I have got in my email as I speak. Anyway, thanks, Aaron. Always great questions. The Andy Paul 85. Hi guys, I bought a Strymon Timeline but returned it after getting annoyed with the menus. Man after my own heart. Can you recommend a similar pedal in quality and features that can be tweaked with just the knobs and switches on too? Yes, I can. Dan, do you have a recommendation?
I love the where is it?
See, option one, you could just learn it, right? Which that would have been the thing to do.
Okay. Tell you what.
Right, the first pedal I'm going to show you is the Boss DD500, which does have loads of menus, but I can operate this and I cannot operate the timeline. The second thing I'm going to show you is my actual choice, which is a Source Audio delay and reverb, which also has a reverb that is similarly brilliant. And it's hard to top this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Tell the people this.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Delay and reverb in one pedal. We use it all the time. It'll be on the show we're filming tomorrow. Spectacular. Then we have the Boss DD500. Again, it has menus and stuff. I would say if you didn't like the timeline, you're going to struggle with that as well. But then there's the DD200, which is a lot simpler. Now, if you just want set and forget, and you like the sound of the Strymon, then the Strymon El Capistan
Doesn't do shimmers and silly though, does it?
No, but if you want shimmers and silly, you've got to put up with the stuff.
So the El Capistan is just a great sounding tape echo, as is that.
Yep.
Keeley echoes. So if you want tape specific, those two things are good.
Yep.
But if you do want the multi-functioners, I think we'd say Source Audio.
The Empress, the
Ecosystem.
The Empress ecosystem is what I use at the moment.
Yeah.
It's spectacular.
Yeah, again, I get confused with the top panel, but a couple of hours of anyone's time just learning what the controls do is possible, I think, with the Empress, because you don't have the deep menus that you have with the Strymon.
Indeed.
Good luck, Andy Paul 85. Charlie Pratt.
Feel how light that is.
I know. I was moving all the guitars around the other day. It's bonkers, isn't it? Spanish cedar, this body is made of. Which is not the same as... Anyway, whatever. I'm selling a 63 reissue ES335 because I just don't play it enough. I'm sad. Could Dan sing me a little Requiem to make me feel better?
Okay. Requiem for what was it? An ES335?
ES335, it is called Charlie.
Okay.
And he's called Pratt. Charlie Pratt.
Okay. ES335
he's selling it.
Requiem.
Sad.
Ah, no.
There you go, Charlie. I hope that sufficed.
I'm watching Amadeus with my daughter at the moment. The director's cut.
The film.
The film. Just wonderful.
I don't think I've ever seen it. Don't be sad, Charlie. See it as a new dawn, a new beginning.
Brian Mills says, shouldn't you play it on a 335? I probably should have, but I had this to hand. Playing a Requiem on a 335 would be too sad. That's saying that too far.
George Radcliffe. Hello, George. Dan and Mick, can you recommend an excellent Bucket Brigade device type analog delay? I'm willing to pay a bit more for a great build quality and craftsmanship. I've got exactly the pedal for you, George, and it arrived yesterday.
Ooh.
It is the new Jam Pedals Delay Llama version 3 with tap tempo. That's our choice. Haven't even heard it yet, and I can tell you that's our choice.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, Jam Pedals Delay Llama would be a good choice. You don't need the version 3. The previous version sounds amazing as well. If you want tap tempo, you do need the version 3. Our other favourite analog Bucket Brigade device type pedals, our actual favourite, for like normal delay with a bit of modulation, is the Analog Man ARDX20 with Amazio.
Mm-hmm.
That is a thing of beauty, and we both love it dearly. Dan's actual favourite BBD delay is
The Memory Man.
by Electro-Harmonix.
The real one.
Yeah, and you can't get them anymore, unfortunately. So if you want that really heavy modulated kind of thing, the Memory Man is the thing to look at. The Clockwork from J-Rocket is pretty cool in that respect.
Mm.
But I think I would go with the Delay Llama.
Yeah. It's
from Jam.
It's amazing. The other one also, which is just sounds flipping awesome is the Mythos Oracle.
Oh yeah, Mythos Oracle. No modulation.
Yeah.
If you don't want modulation, Mythos Oracle is really fantastic. And actually, if you want something simple that just sounds great, MXR Carbon Copy.
Hard to go past that.
They do 2 versions. The dark green one has a darker sound. The light green one has a brighter sound. It might be that you prefer either. They also do a deluxe version, which I think has options for different brightness. So, yeah, MXR Carbon Copy is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Jam Pedals Delay Llama Mark III.
Yep, nice.
There you go. Yellow House Blues Band Matt. Yellow House Blues Band Matt. Hello, Mick. Do you use your Free the Tone chorus in the effects loop of your 2-rock? I'm thinking about getting the new version that can be 100% wet. Okay, Free the Tone Tri-Avatar chorus is probably here somewhere. It's that Tri-Chorus 80 sound.
Yeah, great. What a great sounding thing.
Focus. Damn you, focus.
There you go. Look at that.
Dan, tell the people I'm going to show them something amazing.
So Mick's going to show you something amazing. You're not going to believe your eyes. Oh yeah. So this is a part of a haul that Mick managed to procure, and it's pretty extraordinary. Look at this thing. Look at that. Come on. Hello, ladies. This one's for you. Look at that. I want to see that in the rack into the messer.
So yeah, we know that Mike Fuller is persona non grata with some people. We're gonna forget politics just for a second and say that is the full tone that 80s rack chorus, which is the rack version of what that Free the Tone is.
Oh, cool.
Sort of going to be. It's not the Roland Dimension D. It's something different. I forget the name of it, but it's what was all over all that music.
All right.
And Benson Studio Tallbird stereo valve spring reverb. So back to the question: do I run it in the effects loop of my 2-rock? No, I don't run anything in the effects loop of my 2-rock. All in the front. I just don't like effects loops. Don't need them. But you could. I don't know how good the effects loop is in my 2-rock, if I'm honest, because I think you need, or you don't need, but to do it properly, you need that extra valve buffered effects loop that the Dumbles used to use.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've never actually tried it, if I'm honest. But you could. There's no reason why you couldn't. And of course, if it's going to be 100% wet, that wouldn't work, would it?
No.
Because it's not a parallel loop.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you'd need some other mixing device
Yep.
to do it. Yeah. Dan makes a thing called the Wetter box, which enables you to do that. Yeah, I just like everything in the front, really, because I never run the amp that overdriven.
Yep.
Now, if it was a TS1 and if we were going for the Dumbley sound, then that might be a different thing, and the loop might be a more appropriate place for it.
Sure.
So, but yeah, just check if it is. If it's not a parallel loop, you put it in there and you run it 100% wet, then all you're going to get is the wet sound. Is that right?
Yes. Because it's just it's serial, right? You got send and return, and if you kill the dry in that, you're just going to get wetness. So you need to split the dry, and then reassemble it back at the end. I
might be misunderstanding a new feature of it. In any case, all the Free the Tone pedals that I've got pretty awesome analog drive-through anyway, I think.
They do.
Or do they? Or do they have the vitalizer circuit?
Still analog.
Yeah, so it's still analog drive-through, but it might be buffered.
Yeah, most analog drive-throughs buffered.
Are they?
Yeah, because you need to buffer the signal before you split it.
So it's that. I know a couple of the things I've got are quite bright. Anyway, I don't know the answer is the answer. I will look into that though, because that's kind of interesting about the 100% wet thing. I wonder if he's done something that... No. Doesn't work, does it? No. Good luck. David Rutledge. Hey y'all, he says. Greetings from Nashville. My 90s cover band is reuniting for my wedding soon and I need to get a Santana tone for smooth. Yes, you do. OD options are a BD2, Keeley Protein, BD2 with a Keeley mod, Protein, OCD, GE, Timmy, Bonsai, and Fuzz, and Distortion. So, Strat, 335 or SG into a super reverb.
You need the SG, but you're going to need, I'd say, an EQ pedal going into something with not your medium gain pedal. I wouldn't do it with the distortion, but something that you, with an EQ pedal, that you can push loads of that mid-range into a medium gain to get those frequencies distorting nicely and feeding back nicely into your amplifier.
Yeah, something stacked, I would say, just to get that gain makeup.
Yep.
And then you need, it was really interesting, his tone, because there's obviously, as Dan is alluding, tremendous amount of mid-range, his vocal sort of quality in Santana's tone, and not a lot of apparent high end, or the mid is so strong it's kind of overruling the high end.
Yeah.
So it's not like Clapton-y woman tone where you roll all the high end off. It's not like that at all.
No.
It's just much more mid and thick and singing and all of those things. Definitely humbuckers.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it with a Strat, but definitely humbuckers.
That's where he gets all of his sustain from.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone that knew his tech, and at certain parts of the night, the tech would literally be stood by his amplifier. He'd hit a note, and the tech would crank the amp up
To get the
sustain going,
Yeah.
and then put it back down again. You know,
I stood next to his dumbles at one of the PRS experiences once.
was it an experience?
Yeah. I was like, hello. They were like... yeah, so I'd go SG. I'd use the Bonsai in whatever the most mid-humped...
Ah, the bonsai's there. Okay.
Whatever the most mid-humped is, and I'd stack that into the... either the BD2... Well, or actually the Timmy. See, you could set the Timmy up to do the mid-boost thing as well.
Can you?
Yeah, you've got every... David, you've got every option there. Plenty of gain, plenty of mid-frequency. Let it sing.
Yeah. It's important, though, because that Santana thing, you listen to the front of his note, he is so articulate. So it's got to be, just not too woolly. Make sure you've got, with those mids, make sure you've got a nice, enough treble to get a bit of bites in the front of that note.
Because it's not absent of treble, it's just very heavy on mids.
Totally, exactly. Yeah.
And when we say mids, what do we mean? We mean, so there's a lot of tube screamery type mid, which is 500 to 800 hertz. But then in order to get the bite up, you probably don't want too much of that like 3K, very bright. What sort of gives overdrive and distortion sounds what we would term as bite. And then, up from there, you're into more air. But certainly you want to boost those tube screamery, clonny 500 to 1K. You want that boosted significantly.
Yeah.
Good luck. Peter de Leon. Or Peter de Leon. Hello.
Hello.
I jumped the channels on my 1972 Fender Dual Showman and have dialed back a Dumble drive and clone, making my amp usable alone with less pedals. Guess this means more room for fuzzes and delays.
Good man. Very good.
Any fun suggestions? Oh man, check out Beatronics for fuzzes
So good.
if you want fun.
They're so hot right now.
Yeah.
Man, delays. Check out many of our hundreds of shows on delays. But one show I thought would be really fun to do is on why delays sound different. Because you think of the concept of it's just sound repeated. What is it that goes into them to make them different?
Yeah.
Namely, what's going on in the preamp, what's going on. The
We
EQ,
kind
the
of
repeats,
did that in the character delay show, didn't we?
We did, but there's. It's like Paul Stacey was over a few weeks ago and he pulled out this old delay, and he just said, listen to this, and he just hit this note and all these repeats coming in, just the way the repeats sort of folds it in on themselves, and the EQ, the way that was voiced. And just the vibe it gave was like, wow, blew my mind.
Also, watch Dan's Frankenstein delay board build if you want some inspiration for the constituent parts in a delay that create the fun.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a good learning experience.
But actually, if this is your first delay, something that's got a few different options on there.
Get a Boss DD200.
Boss DD200 is a really good shout.
Yeah.
It'll sound great and get you used to, dialing in some cool sounds. Something that's got, or I tell you what's a really good shout is the JHS $100 delay.
Oh yeah,
because you've got some brightness levels on
3 series delay. Yeah,
the 3 series delay is really great because there's a bright repeat and a warmer repeat.
Yeah,
and that makes a massive difference. So yeah, give that a
shot.
shot. Yeah,
we'll round that out with the TC Flashback 2 with the mash switch, which is also fun.
Yeah, loads of fun because you can get really experimental.
Yeah, so that's TC Electronic Flashback 2. That is the Boss DD200, and it is the JHS 3 series delay.
Indeed.
I missed JT3483. Apologies. Dan, have you tried the Past Effects Chorus Ensemble or Chorus Ensemble Deluxe? Really great, faithful recreation of the CE1 from Australia.
No, I played their Mistress clone, which I thought was really good. I think they've got a couple of different ones of that. But no, I will keep an eye out for the CE1. It's tricky with the CE1 because my CE1 sounds so good. It's had that simple mod where you change the pot on the input. I have played a clone of a CE1. I forget who made it, and it sounded really good, but it was really authentic. Same pot, same issues I had with the original CE1.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Found that a bit challenging. But no, I'll keep an eye out for it, in a sense, because their stuff is really good. Straight.
I'm not yawning it down. I'm yawning because I'm genuinely tired.
And we've got meat coming up.
We have got meat coming up. The other thing I did was I radically cut my sugar intake last week and felt massively better come Friday. Had a bit of a headache.
You're looking very good.
Headache. Oh, thanks, mate. Had a headache on Tuesday with the sugar withdrawal.
Oh, yeah, right.
And it wasn't an alcohol withdrawal because I haven't had any alcohol for some time before that. And then absolutely binged on everything over the weekend and now feel dreadful again. So it just proves, doesn't it? Sugar's just so bad, man.
Andy Timmons is in the house.
Andy!
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
Hope you're awesome, mate. We've just been telling everyone the plans are afoot to get you over, but we need to suck less.
Yeah.
So we're going to go and do some gigs and get warmed up for you.
David Burke. Howdy, gents. Glad to be back after my NHS vacation. Glad you're feeling better, David. As well as thanking TPS for helping keep me sane these past couple of weeks, I want to thank our healthcare workers. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, very good.
Yeah. Good on you. Your superstars and your profession saved me. Yes. Goes without saying, doesn't it?
Indeed.
But we'll say it anyway. Thank you if you're in that work.
Indeed.
And good to hear you're feeling chipper again, David. That's great news. Chris Groom. Hi, Chris. Hi, Mick. Hi, Dan. How about some more vlogs? Dan's one on his acoustic build and yours on the Strat pickups were both great. How about some more? All the best from Chris.
Yeah, I've just got a whole new vlog set up and I'm itching to get into some more vlogs. I just need to add another few hours in the day. But yeah, I got really whenever I see Mick's vlog and there's another one that's been uploaded.
I finished the first one on the new Strat and it's ready to go. We're having this conversation like Dan says, put it out as a Friday show. And I'm like, I think all the non-Strat people will be annoyed because it's not like a proper Friday show. He's like, no, put it out as a Friday show.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of both of us in it.
I think it's a great show. I
both
think
play
you
it.
should go. On
So
Friday.
we might do, because the other thing is it does buy us another week of Friday, which we could do with at the moment.
But whenever I see Mick's vlog, it just always looks so good. And I've always really struggled with that because I can't, because Mick can sit down and get everything looking great, sounding great and stuff. And I get the camera out and I'm like,
Yours
okay.
is content though, Dan. It's
Yeah, but it's still, I look at it, I start to edit it and I just go, it just looks garbage. So I got the new camera that's just auto everything, which, because every now and then in my vlog, like one time out of 100, the light would be right, the autofocus would work, the mics would be at the right level, be like, yay! So yeah, anyway, I've got this new stuff that's just going to make it a lot
easier,
simpler to look a bit better.
It's interesting on the sort of quality and production level thing. We get lots of nice comments about our production, and we're very grateful for that. We are a little bit anal about it. I am a little bit anal about it. What was really interesting about Dan's acoustic vlog is that it was done all on your iPhone.
Pretty much, yeah, most of it.
No special audio treatment.
No.
And I think it's the most compelling content we have ever made. You have ever made for us.
Sure.
I think so. And I had the opposite feeling that you're having. I'm going, it's a total waste of time doing all this production because the only thing that matters is the content.
I absolutely get that. However, I also, when I sit down and I've got the big telly on and I watch the show before it goes out to make sure, and I look at it, it just looks so good and it sounds so good. So I don't want to let the side down with that. But at the same time, I don't want to get lost in, because my brain can't handle it. So
yeah.
The new setup should make it easy.
Yeah.
Andy Timmons says, love you guys. Can't wait to come over. Mate, we love you too. We cannot wait to see you. It's going to be so much fun. Plug for Andy's live thing as well. If you guys are on Facebook and you follow him, he'll do live shows on the weekend, and they are the most flippin' amazing things ever. And they have different themes from, Beatles to, and he's done some of his, the rock stuff, and then to the last album and stuff. And they're like, every week there's just something amazing. And he's a great singer as well. I had no idea. It's amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Sorry
if you're blushing, Andy, but it's deserved.
Yeah, truly incredible.
For those of you who might not be familiar with Andy's work, check out his most recent record, Tales from...
Theme from a Perfect World?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the most recent record, but check out Theme from a Perfect World.
Definitely check that one out.
I think is the name of the record. And check out Andy's take on Sgt. Pepper's. It is mind-blowing.
So the first time we interviewed Andy, I'll never forget this. Andy was the first person we ever interviewed, right?
Yeah.
We had 0 subscribers.
Yeah.
But I asked Andy, he said, yeah, come down and do it. It would be fun.
We did it in
right?
we did it in the venue that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Just off Charing Cross Road.
Not Blind Lights. Anyway.
Yeah, that
venue
one.
in London.
I'll remember in a minute. Borderline.
The Borderline. And, Andy set up and it was like, anyone that's been to an Andy Timmons gig and has beheld the glory that is Andy Timmons' sound.
It's the best sound we've ever recorded. Easy peasy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And we're recording it, and I'm getting really emotional, but sort of sat on stage while Andy's doing this thing, and I'm like, it's so moving. And then you said to Andy, can you play...
It's either She's Leaving Home...
No, She's Leaving Home. He said, can you play She's Leaving Home? And then he went, no, I haven't played it for a long time. Let me see if I can remember it. And then Andy launches into She's Leaving Home, mixed behind the camera, got tears coming out of his eyes. I'm trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
It was just so flipping moving. It's so beautiful. That's the one. So beautiful. Yeah. Anyway, that's the one.
I learned some of it, but
Did you?
obviously it's like trying to learn Voodoo Child.
Yeah. But wonderful.
Let him play it.
Yeah. And so we had a bunch of gigs booked with Andy. Andy was going to come over. and we were going to play a bunch of venues, including the Cavern in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff happened. So we will get all those gigs rebooked at some point. But we're going to go out and do some TPS band gigs because we haven't played since, all that stuff. So yes, but that'll be fun. Anyway, love you, mate. Thank you so much for joining us. And can't wait to see you.
Where were we? Vlogs. Yeah. So Chris, there is a Strat one coming very soon. It's finished. Just need to decide whether we're going to publish it on Friday or not, which I think we probably will. And it's the first one. There'll be more. But yeah, we both really enjoy doing vlogs, but they are unbelievably time consuming.
Man. It's like the guitar build one. So there was 5 1-hour shows. And what I'd have to do is every time I came home, because I drove up to Bristol every Wednesday, filmed, and as soon as I got home, I'd have to get it in and edit it. And not stop until it was done. Otherwise, there was just no way.
Otherwise it's just too much. But Chris, we will, and thank you for your stupendous generosity, mate, as well. That is really, really incredibly generous.
Thank you, mate.
Brad Schultz. Hello from Orlando. Dan, has the 321 been discontinued? If so, is the successor in development?
No, it's not discontinued. There might be a delay in getting them built, but they're not. They're still going. Yeah. I've got some
parts issues.
Very hard, man, alive. We had a part today, right? I told Catherine this before. Normally costs us $1.61 for these parts, and we buy thousands of them. They're now on a 63-week lead time, but we found someone that had them in stock for £260 each. And it's like, that's, anyone that's in manufacturing is just, man, it's so tricky out there at the moment. Trying to find parts. Yeah,
there you go.
But it might be, but we do have some stock that we're going to build up, and we'll get them back in. But thank you very much.
Lawrence Clark. Love the show. Hello, Lawrence. He says, love the show. I play in church with way too much natural reverb. Any recommendations for how to set pedals and amp for a room with too much reverb?
So watch your top end. Be really sensitive to that. It's one of those things there. I remember setting up, I was doing a gig in Twin Towns. I was playing guitar for an Australian artist called Wendy Matthews. And I was at soundcheck in this massive empty room in Twin Towns.
Is Twin Towns a town? Or is it 2 towns?
It's in Coolangatta, and they call it Twin Towns because it's on the border between New South Wales and Queensland.
So it's one town, but it's split by a...
they call it Twin Towns. I can't, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Massive room. And I remember we'd done sound check, and I just remember playing and just loving the ambience of this freaking massive room.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that on your own, it's a really beautiful thing.
Nice to sing with
really,
acoustic guitar.
Just wonderful, just wonderful. But boy, oh boy, when all the frequencies of the band start up, you've really got to be sensitive to that. So, yeah, watch your volume, just watch your top end, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, there's very little you can do because obviously once the sound has left you, it's reverberating off all the surfaces, and that's why it sounds the way it does. I don't know how regularly you play there, or if you know anyone in the church, but there are lots of churches that are treated for sound, with absorption panels and all that kind of stuff. But I guess try not to be too loud and don't be playing stuff at 150 BPM with a full-on BC Rich Mockingbird metal sound is going to be a challenge, isn't it?
It'd be fun.
Definitely your ethereal chords and not too busy orchestration.
Yeah.
Use the beauty of the room rather than fight it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one, tough one. That can be frustrating. I know, having done my share of empty gigs in my life in large sports halls and things.
Oh, man.
And it's like, here we go, then and you just get the reflection off the back wall.
Yep.
Yeah. You might find that orientating your amp actually in a different direction might help slightly, because it is physics, right?
Yep.
Throw a blanket over it, maybe? I don't know. Still doesn't really help once it's out there, but...
Yeah. It's tricky. I remember being at soundcheck for Porcupine Tree when they're playing the Albert Hall. And, you know, those guys are loud. And Ian Bond, the sound guy, flippant amazing sound guy. And, you know, the gig sounded incredible, but I just remember the work he did to make a band with that level of dynamics sound great in the Albert Hall. You know, it can be done, but tricky.
It is tough. It is tough. Right. James Barber. Hello, James. He says, thanks for the entertainment. When doing TPS wet dry, is physical separation of the cabs important to the sound in the room? Due to space constraints, I'm thinking of stacking two 212 cabs connected to different amps for wet dry.
Not as much as you think. In fact, it can be, having the cabs right next to each other can sound flipping amazing. When we play live, our cabs are pretty close.
Yeah.
And it just sounds fantastic. You can actually do it in the same cab if you've got a stereo cab.
Yeah, we did it once with using our Hughes and Kettner 212 cab. And we've always said, you know, it's important to have separate cabs, but actually the results from that one cab was really, really good. It's why I've had this insane
Go wheel it out.
Dumble style 4x12 built, because if I ever get around to putting the speakers into it,
look at this.
this will do
That's so funny.
this will do stereo and or wet dry.
Look at the size of that thing. That's amazing.
Sorry, I can't get it back enough far enough so you can see the bottom of
there
it.
you go. Look at that.
It's a giant oversized 412 that's going to be wired stereo, so it can do stereo or wet dry. But I've managed to, well, I haven't, the courier's managed to damage 2 of the speakers. And I don't seem to be able to find enough hours to decide what I'm going to do next. Anyway, that's what that's going to be. It's going to be wet dry and stereo in one cab. So you can do it in one cab. You might want to do some reading on dispersion. Line arrays work, apparently, because even though they're stacked vertically, the horizontal dispersion is really good.
Oh, really?
And I don't know if I'm getting this right, but horizontal arrangement of speakers has really good vertical dispersion.
Okay.
I have no idea if this is true or not, or if I'm talking cobblers. Look it up on Das Interwebs and do some research into that, because you might find that 2 verts are better than 2 horizontals.
The 2x12 vertical cabs, the Victory ones, are mega for that.
They're pretty good for that. Or even 2 112s, you know, can be really, really great.
Yeah. I've got 2 1x12 Burt cabs I used to stack on each other.
Yeah.
With the matches into them. Epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So physical separation isn't important in the way it is with stereo, to get a really wide stereo image. And the reason for that is because with wet dry, you're not trying to be stereo. You're essentially still trying to be mono. Like out front, the engineer is going to mix it more or less equally, or at least have a... But he's mixing it as one guitar sound, not as left and right. So them being in close proximity isn't really the issue. What the issue is making sure your dry sound is dry so that you retain definition, cut, and all of those things from the dry sound.
Yep.
So it's not as big a deal as it is with stereo.
Yep.
I hope that helps explain it.
Emu Sandwich says, correct about the line arrays, Mick.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
There we go.
See, some of it goes in. In the next vlog, I talk about colours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
I add the caveat that some of this may be true. Because people tell you stuff, right? And some of it goes in, you cross-check it, and most of the time it's semi-right, isn't it?
Yeah. Except for when you put on the spot and you need to reproduce it there and then.
Yeah.
Then it's, I got no chance.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been practicing some jazz stuff all week, and I'll sit down and look at the guitar now and go, no, it's not there. It's not there yet. I'll get home. It's like, oh, of course, there it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Sit down here now. Yeah. Show me what you've been practicing this week, Dan. I'll go, boom. Nope.
There's probably a psychological explanation for that, a cognitive explanation.
I have so many psychological explanations.
It's probably something to do with a stress thing. So when somebody asks you to do something, a little door goes flap, shuts it off. But when you're not stressed, the door's open.
Yeah. I do. Sometimes I sit at home and if I'm just practicing in the morning, I'll get up 6 o'clock every morning. I go down, pat the dog, and I just grab the telly and just play for a bit. I'm so relaxed. I'm still a bit sleepy, but it's such a beautiful way to play. As soon as I've got to play, or everything tenses up.
Yeah,
and
something to learn. I'm sure that's
be fascinating. I'd love to know more about that whole process. Actually,
I think Zen Guitar was mostly about all of that, wasn't it?
Right.
You ever read that?
Zen Guitar and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Yeah. Tim Good. Hello, Tim. Hi, Legends. Since Mick is the Strat Whisperer, I'm wondering if you've ever heard of the California series from the 90s. I picked one up cheap and I love it. I'm almost tempted to mail it to you to see what you think of it. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, ironically enough, California series made in Mexico, I believe. Yeah, just good mid-level kind of Strat. And there have been many Strats down the years that have tried to hit that massive bang for buck price point.
When they made the originals, they were like relatively expensive, right, when they came out?
Strats?
Yeah.
1961, $289.50, which is not... I mean,
and what was that?
Strats were around way before that. I think it was $240 or something in 54.
And relative to... what would that be in today's money?
I wouldn't know. I think it was a lot.
It was expensive?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was a lot.
Right, okay.
Yeah, Gibsons were much more expensive, I think.
Right.
What else can we see about the California series? I mean, I've said they're made in Mexico. I think they were.
Okay.
Let's have a look at the serial number. If it's got MX in it, then yes.
Jonathan Dean says Pat is a good name for a dog.
That's quite funny.
Pat the dog.
That's quite funny. Yeah, it's so interesting with the Strats and Tellys. Lest we forget, right? They are parts guitars. They're assembled out of parts that are easy to make and machine, and that was the whole point of them. And we all make the mistake of generalizing about, well, first of all, a Strat. Clearly, there's how many Strats have I got there? 3 there, and others around. They're all
just so different.
Very different, even though they're all vintage style ones. And then, to say that all American vintage is one thing, or all American special is one thing, or all California series is one thing. Again, it's just too... We can generalise, of course we can, but you'll find, you might find a Squier Classic vibe that is, to you, the best Strat you've ever played.
Yeah.
And you might play 10 custom shops and not like a single one of them.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it goes. So no need to mail it. Thank you. It's just great that you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Finding a guitar that you enjoy. And it does seem to happen that if you didn't pay too much cash for it, it does make it feel all the better.
Humbucker Chronicle says that would be $2,750 in today's money, which you can't get a custom shop Strat for anything like that money.
Yeah, I think it might be more than that if you do, like, in actual conversion of currency, but if you peg it against the average yearly wage, I think it might turn out to be slightly more than that. But anyway, it wasn't cheap. It certainly wasn't cheap. Yeah. Eagle Ray Rob. Hello, Eagle Ray Rob.
Hello, mate.
And thank you for your continued nice comments, Rob. It's always good to read them. He says, no question. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. No question. Just want to say thanks for all the great information you provide. P.S. I'm leaning towards a 2-Rock Classic Reverb Signature 150 with 2-Rock 212. Because, that's what I've got. And it's, well, for me, it's totally magic.
It is a magical thing.
Interestingly enough, Jake, my friend, he prefers his Silver Sterling Signature, which is bit cleaner, I guess you might say.
Same speakers?
Yeah, we did it all in the same cabs and everything. Slightly spongy. No, spongy's not right. has more bloom
Yeah.
in the way that the note develops.
I have to just get them in here. I'm so intrigued to hear them.
Yeah, and some people prefer the trad clean, which is just loud and clean.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever you go with, Rob, I don't think you'll be dissatisfied. Arne Morenhout. No question from you. I will just check to see if BV is letting me know things. He's not, so all is good.
Paul Abbott says, never take a dog called Shark to the beach. Very good, Paul. I like that a lot.
How much did Andy Martin pay you to do that clean tone episode, says Paul Matulovic.
Oh, man.
Just a comment to say that it and the reverb video was great.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks,
mate.
Paul.
Thank you.
And here's my clean tone.
But
G
first-
Barge. Hello, G.
Hey, G.
I'm joining the chorus of folks interested in a show on acoustic pedal boards. I love my Bags, Parrot Acoustic DI and session pedals. Maybe throw in discussion of acoustic amps. All the best from Northern Carolina.
I think what we've got to do, the most important thing about the clean pedal board, it's fine for us to do the
Acoustic.
clean. Sorry, that's what I meant. The acoustic pedal board. We can get them in here and do them till the cows come home. What I found so challenging, a lot more challenging than electric rigs, was the acoustic in a live environment. To get it sitting in a place where it sounded great at the front, and
It's your... So there's a large group of electric guitar players who are like, yeah, I'm just going to take my Helix, and the sound engineer is their problem, and then the fallback is we can deal with that. Dan and I are like, we're not there. We're like, no, I want to control my sound.
Yeah.
And you stick a mic in front of it, you can't go that wrong apart from up and down with level. But I want to be in control of my sound. The minute you go acoustic guitar at an amplified gig,
Man.
you are essentially saying, here's my ass
Yep.
to the
Arnie
sound.
Fufkin.
Yeah, kick it,
Kick him.
kick this ass, and you're basically handing you're handing it over to the sound engineer and hoping that they're going to treat it with some sort of respect. And that's the bit that's really hard with acoustic guitars in band environments.
We did massive airplay. We did.
It's not a big college town. I seem to have a pain in my elbow. That's interesting.
I've had a pain in my elbow for months.
That's because you do 100 press-ups every
I
day.
don't. I've stopped doing it because I've hurt my arm.
Right. I do about 40 to 50.
I rolled with
Some days only 20.
I rolled with this guy, and he's been training a while. Really technical, really strong guy. Anyway, got me in a arm lock, and I thought I can get out of this. I can get out of the overextended a bit, and I was like, and it was all right. But then stick your thumb right up his bum. But it's not been right since.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a bit hurty.
It's funny how sort of contact combative pastimes can give you injuries like that, isn't it?
Oh man!
I know you love it.
A quick story.
I know you love it.
I get a private session every week, right, with my coach, who's amazing. Shout out to Jake. He's wonderful. Anyway, I'm quite injury prone, right? Because things are starting to break, and things at my age they take a long time to heal. I was doing a forward shrimp out of this thing, and my big toe clipped the back of his heel, and he had these special socks on, and it ripped my toenail up, right? It was gross.
So did you take
Like-
it, slash him across the
Well,
face?
no.
with it?
No. It just came up. Blood and stuff's like, it went down. And so I was like, I'm not going to let this defeat me. So I grabbed some paper, pushed the toenail back down, grabbed some tape and taped it back up. Right? And I said, come on, Jake, let's go back in. As I was walking back in, my other toe, little toe, kicked the base of an exercise bike that was sat there. It's now black. It's ridiculous. I'm so injury prone. It's crazy. I started a project. I was taking a photo of every injury when I first started, like 10 years ago. Started taking a picture of every injury I had, and when I was going to hit my black belt, I was going to release this, like a thing of every injury I had, and it's stupid. No one would ever do it if they saw these pictures. It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm just thinking of Brad Pitt and Fight Club.
Yeah,
It's that, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
But no, it's not that. No, it's not. It's not, because you can do it if you're not an idiot, and you don't have to get injured, and you tap early. But I'm just an idiot.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, good on you, Dan.
Ah.
I'm glad you like it. Yes. So, we should do more acoustic shows. It would be good. It would be good to get into it, actually, especially now Dan's got a proper guitar.
A guitar worthy of recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would be nice to enjoy that for a little while.
Yep.
Pete Lawler. Hello, Pete. Thoroughly enjoyed the Reverb show on Friday. I live in hope that when I turn on every Friday, the DR103 will be front and centre with that look of vague concern on your faces. We need to borrow your cab, Pete. I think one of the reasons we don't use it more is because every cab we've got is not really right. The cab that is best with it is the 2-rock cab. And actually the Marshall 412 sounds okay, but it really does need
Those fanes.
Those proper fanes, I think, or at least,
and those cabs are
something more appropriate.
They're so full on
because we just can't get the headroom out of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah. So yes, we should work that out. And Arpad, medieval cookery with Arpad. He says, so what about 15-inch speakers then? We should do it. Like we keep saying we should do it. Let's see if we can get a PV Delta Blues 15 from somewhere.
Okay.
At least one person I know has got one of those. I think it was a Vibroverb with a custom 15. They do a custom 15-inch twin for the steel players, and I guess we could get a 1x15 cab from somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should. Arpad. Congrats on getting the channel up and going again as well. If indeed that's what you've done, that's we speak from experience when we say we understand how hard it is to do this every week. It's not hard like being a frontline healthcare worker or something really important and worthwhile in the world, but it is pretty difficult to every week.
Oh yeah,
isn't it?
Which is so. When I saw your vlog, it's such a great show. It is so interesting. I think that section just on colours alone is worthy enough of a show. It's so interesting. So things like that, I think, they can be. Well, like over Christmas when the acoustic guitar build out and the reveal, the last show was a Friday show. So I think, we can do that stuff.
We will. We'll put it as a Friday show. Yeah, well, that'll be this Friday then, Strat Vlog. Joshua Alanis says, have you checked out the new videos of the Archangels? I have not. Didn't realise they have they.
I saw something on Facebook about it today.
Have they reformed?
I think they're doing some gigs.
Or is it just new old stuff?
I don't know.
Archangels, Dor Bramall 2 and Charlie Sexton, the sort of
yeah, no, they're out there gigging at the moment.
Front guys, are they? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Nice, thanks for that, Joshua. I had no idea. Simto wants to see an episode on juicy tones. Juicy being the opposite of hard, direct, flat tones. Juicy. We could do a whole series of like adjective tones, couldn't we? Just pick random adjectives.
Corky.
Right. Michael McFall says, I hate my job, but it pays the bills and allows me to buy shit. In 7 years, I'll retire. Good on you, Michael. Good. Okay, I think that's us for today.
Awesome.
K. Cole 4001, obviously a Rickenbacker fan, says the old 215 Fender cab sounded pretty good back in the day. Heavy though, yeah. Funnily enough, I've seen a few of those on Reverb and very nearly hit the buy button a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah, not for guitar, even though you could use it for guitar, but for our bass rig. What speakers are in the 2-rock, says Mel Hackinson. I have the TR1265B speakers. Also use WGS 12Ls. I don't have any real EVs, but I would like to get some. Every time I look on Reverb, they're insanely expensive. There we are. Scott Gaylor says the tap early, the next TPS pedal.
Tap early.
Dan wouldn't be able to do it. He wouldn't.
Such an idiot.
He wouldn't be allowed. Dave Bickle. I broke my toe on a Fender Twin. I left in my bedroom. Got up in the night, walked around, and it was black and blue. Had to lip around Monkey World with the wife and kids. That's excellent, Dave. I actually still have a misformed fourth toe on my right foot where I dropped my KSG copy on it when I was about 11 years old.
No way.
Yeah. And it's all kind of mangled and not right.
Oh, boy, oh boy.
Yeah. Joris Dirks. We'll leave you with Joris Dirks. Jake. Hello, Jake. Jake's on. Desperate to see the Archangels. Hello, Jake. Maybe we could go together, mate. I was going to leave you with Joris Dirks, who says, "Are you related to Rebecca Dirks? Do you remember Rebecca Dirks
I do.
from the Tone Report?"
I saw an interview with her yesterday with Steve Vai.
Yeah. So she's still doing stuff then?
I don't know how recent it was,
Okay.
but she was fantastic.
Joris Dirks, could you do a show about why tone wouldn't matter as much as we think it does?
No. It's an interesting question, though.
It is the truth, but what we try and do is not tell the truth about things like that because it's against the spirit of things, isn't it? Then we'll all realise how rubbish we are at playing a guitar as well. And we definitely don't want to know that. So yeah, no. We'll continue our willing suspension of disbelief about certain things when it comes to guitars. Won't we, Dan?
Indeed. Welcome to where I live.
Yeah. Good. Everyone, thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone. It's been fun.
Yeah, it has been fun. Strat vlog on Friday then. We've made the decision. Not without its frustrations.
Indeed.
Not without its frustrations. But things can only get better.
Well, things are already out better.
Yeah. Bettering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful guitar.
Yep. It is.
Fare thee well.
Yes, indeed, fare thee well. Play us out, Dan. Play us a ditty.
Play your ditty. Okay.